have created our account and we updated our profile, we can actually create our first repository. Now, the repository you're going to create, if you already have had an account and you are creating a repository for it, or this is the first repository you're creating, you have to make sure, and this is essential, that your repository is a private one. Having a public repository with your schoolwork in it will be easily giving access to others to your code without you knowing. You will maybe charge for plagiarism if somebody copies the code out of you. Remember, it is your responsibility to keep your code private. If someone else, for any reason, gains access to your code and submits your code as their own, you will be charged for plagiarism too without even knowing it. So it's your responsibility to keep your code safe. So how do we create a repository? Click on your uh, icon up here at the right side and click on your repositories. And you'll see that because this account is new, I don't have anything, so I can click on new and create a repository. So we'll click on new. And then for repository name over here, select something that is appropriate for your schoolwork. So if it's OOP244, you write OOP244. If it's BTP 200, it's BTP 200, or something that you can relate to so you know what is it for. So I'm going to put over here, for example, OOP244. So that's my repository for my OOP244 work. Okay, and in description over here, I can simply write over here repo for my schoolwork work in OOP244 subject. And after that, click on private, and this is extremely important. It has to be private. Click on README file. You need to have a README file because you are going to share this repository with your professor. Therefore, your professor, when they look at your repository, they need to have access to your student information. The next thing is git ignore. This is an extremely important file that should exist in your repository. Git ignore's job is to ignore the files that are ignore the files for upload and download, or in Git terminology for push and pulls, to make sure that no garbage is sent to your repository and only the files you need to keep are passed. For example, the executables will be ignored, all the object files will be ignored, all the things that are not needed will not go to your repository, and your upload and download, or what we call push and pull, will be very fast. So select git ignore based on the language that you're working. I'm going to select C++. We are going to change this. Remember, it's going to create it for you, but you got to make sure that you have it. So later on, we're going to replace it with what we are going to give you. So I'm going to click on Create Repository. So the repository is now created, a repo for my schoolwork in OP244 subject. So README file is created, and I have all the things. The very first thing you need to do over here is update your README file with essential school information. And as a computer programming student, please be precise to the work that you're doing in here and don't be sloppy and do the work properly. So click on edit over here right away at that point. And after writing that the repo for the thing that you have over there, whatever it is, then come down, hit a dash and a space. That creates a point form. So dash and a space, and make it bigger so you can see. So then you can write over here, for example, student number, and then you put your student number, whatever it is, like that, or yeah, or I don't know, that. Name, email ID, extremely important, email ID. So in here, I'm going to put email, Seneca email. Let's say Epsilon STU. You must have that one. And any other information that you need your prof to know. But the most important three things. First of all, what is the subject that this thing is for? Secondly, what is your student number? What is your name? And what is your email? These are the information that you need to have in here so your professor will see. Then click on commit changes and commit again to show the click again to go. Make sure that it's actually point form like this and set properly and beautifully made like this. So this essentially becomes a repository for you in which you can put all your files in. And remember, repository is like a directory, but unlike a directory, a repository cannot have another repository in it. So in a repository, you can have several subdirectories, but you cannot put a repository inside another repository. This is for the case that you're going to actually get this repository on your computer. We call that thing cloning. So for the first time when you download the repository on a computer, we call that cloning. And then after that, you're going to sync the two repositories on GitHub and on your computer by push and pulls. Push essentially uploads the changes from your computer to GitHub, and pull gets all the changes from GitHub to your computer. Like that, you synchronize the two repositories and you have always access to your work. Another benefit of this is that if you need help, what you can simply do is add your professor as a collaborator, and this is a must. You need to do that, and like that, the professor will have access to your code. How do you give access to your professor for this? What you need to do when you create the repository and it's done like that, at top side over here is called setting, and this is a must. You must do this. Your professor will provide you with their GitHub ID. So what you see I'm doing over here, I'm assuming that Farhad is my professor. Depending on who is your professor, you have to ask for their GitHub ID. So I will just click on settings. And then over here you have collaborators, the very first thing. So you click on collaborators, and then you come down, click add people. Then you search for the name of your prof. So you ask for your professor's ID. My ID, I was lucky, is Farhad. So that's me, the very first one, as you see. So when you click on this, it's going to add that as your professor. Now the image over here is the same thing as I put over there. So don't be confused. This is your professor's image or avatar, whatever they have. So we're going to click on add Farhad. And this is going to send a request to your professor. So when your professor opens their email, they're going to see the invitation coming. I'm going to show you that. You don't need to do anything. This is your professor's responsibility as of this point. So as you see in my Seneca email, now I have Fred Soleil's request over here, and I simply click on view invitation. And I am going to accept the invitation. And this acceptance gives me access to the student repository. I can read and write into it. I can give comments on it. So at any moment when you have any problem with your code, all you need to do is to give your path of your repository that is right up here. So if you give this path of the repository to your professor can go into your repository, see what the problem is in front of you. It can fix, change, add comments, or look at your code and give you feedback on it. And this is a very important thing that you need to do, is to add a collaborator. Now that it's done, we're going to continue it with other videos to show you how to actually access this thing using your computer and your account on the Matrix cluster in Seneca.